Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Hopefully, you can hear me. Let me know in the comments. Make sure I am going to be doing a reorganization of my area today because the computer that I was using is now in the booth for streaming regular Villa services. So that has been transitioned over. And so, starting with a clean slate here, going to get things set up again. But I'm using my laptop this morning, so I want to make sure we have good audio. I see Christy and Isaac are here this morning with us. So glad to have you guys here. And I also saw that Kathy Whitney. So here we go. Christy Watson saying hello. Get that up on the screen there. So one of us is sleeping, so everyone quiet. Anyway, Kathy Whitney is here, so good morning. Daryl is also here. He's driving and listening. James Moore, good morning to you. Also, Kathy Wood, good morning to Villa family. Good morning to you, Kathy. So glad to have you this morning. Shirley Bikeman saying hello. I am so glad to have you here with us, Shirley. And then Judy Marsh, so also here watching. And so glad I was able to get, Judy, your shirt yesterday. And so happy that that is there. Oh no, so Laura is watching also, but missing her helpers because James and Bethany had to go back to school today. I know school is starting. There was some fall breaks. I know it's been very weird and different this go around as far as, what's where school is and how you go to school and all those different things. But I do know there was some fall breaks, and so sorry to hear that James and Bethany are back in school. Listen, I'm a fan of learning. I'm a fan of growing, obviously. I love devotions. I love learning new knowledge and everything else. But man, school sometimes be crazy now with how much work and how much time you guys are in school. So I feel sorry for you guys sometimes. So anyway, we will catch up with them. Yesterday, guys, if you weren't able to make it, I understand things come up and stuff is available, or is around. But last night from 5 to 7 here in the parking lot, we kind of did a kickoff of our whole tent ideas. And it's raining today. I'm glad this day was not yesterday. I know we had to move our services inside. It was great to see everyone's effort put forth to making that successful. It's hard trying to get everybody spaced out and wearing masks and doing everything, but yesterday was just an absolutely fantastic day. People doing everything that's needed to make sure that people that can get to a service can feel comfortable, can have their space, have their area. Just different ideas now, right? Just different philosophies currently going on. So hopefully this stuff will come to an end soon. But till it does, we will consistently make arrangements to hopefully just alleviate people's concerns and to give people opportunities for community. Last night from 5 to 7, I did want to say, was amazing. Absolutely awesome to see everybody here that was able to make it. And we had the Edwards food truck. It was a huge success. Just some great food and great time, people talking, kids playing games and laughing and smiling, and people that we haven't met before coming over and saying hi and learning and possibly even coming and visiting the church, just because of seeing that we're still in the community, we're still here, we're still doing things. And so that is just an absolutely fantastic time last night that we had an opportunity to reach out a lot of the preschool parents. I won't say a lot, but there were some that did come. They had gotten the word about it and they'd heard about it and they wanted to come and see what it was about and let their kids see other kids, and the parents talk to other parents. And it was just really good to see our church and the people of our church surrounding our neighborhood, surrounding the people that we actually do ministry with. And just getting involved with them. And so it was a great time. And again, I know not everybody was able to make it. The weather was a questionable thing, and no one wanted to get caught outside at 50 degrees and it's starting to rain. but the sun was out. It ended up being a fantastic time. And so that's not an effort to shame anybody that wasn't able to make it. But for those of you that did, we really, really appreciate it. I mean, we haven't had a lot of events this year because of the scares and because of the issues. And so it was just great to have such a big turnout for a community event here at our church. So I loved it. It was refreshing, very much so, to see it. There's one thing about being in a building and worshiping together. It's another to see community and to see us out and doing stuff. And so anyway, I'm gonna get off that part of it. But it was fantastic. So we had great service yesterday. We finished the We Are Still Villa series. And so we are going to do some stuff. We still have some Villa t-shirts. And so we're going to do some things over the next year or so to get those t-shirts away or make them available. If you would like multiple, I know some people have asked me about getting multiple t-shirts, and we can do that. So the church has put in a certain cost, and I'm working with RT on how we want to do that. But I think what we're going to kind of do is make these possibly available. We'll tell you our cost, and then whatever you can give to get a shirt. If you do want a second shirt, they're great shirts. They're nice and comfortable. And so if you would like that, we'll figure that stuff out. But let me know if you have a question or you need something. All right. Anyway, let me get back to, Debbie McLean this morning saying hello right before we get into our devotion. We will see, what's going on. So, 1 Kings chapter 19. 1 Kings chapter 19. I was reading this morning, and I really wanted to share it with you. I think that it is a great reminder and a great kick in the gut a little bit, just to make sure that we're doing what we should be doing and what we're supposed to be doing. So 1 Kings chapter 19, and I'm going to start in verse 19. And so it says, so he, and I just give you some pretense on who he is. He here is Elijah, one of the prophets of the Old Testament. And this is right after he had defeated the worshipers of Baal. If you don't know that story, a quick rundown. So Israel has a lot of history of going back and forth between serving God and then not serving God, and serving other people, and serving other gods, or serving their own versions of gods. And so whatever it is, Israel constantly has this back and forth. God would come to them, they'd give them a covenant, he would give them these rules, these restrictions, he'd explain things to them and perfect picture, and they'd be like, yeah, we're all on board. And they would follow him, and then they would fall away. And they kept doing this back and forth. And they'd have leaders that would follow, push them to somebody else and everything else. Elijah was a prophet that came through when they were serving this god named Baal, the god of the world. And so Elijah did a lot of stuff there. And so after that part, Elijah has this moment where he kind of, loses track of what God is doing. I want to put it that way. You guys saw my hair briefly there. But he loses track of what God's doing for a moment, and he loses faith. He sees everything going bad in the world. He sees everything going wrong. No one's listening to God. No one's following God. No one's doing the right thing. And he just sees everything going bad. And so he just gets this moment where he's just like, in essence, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I've done all of these things for you, and nobody cares. I'm all here by myself. And he does this. So God says, you know what? I think it's time, Elijah, that I give you someone to take your spot. I think we've gone far enough with you. And again, we see Elijah being one of the few people that never have to see death. He gets caught up by a chariot of fire and taken into heaven. And so, great prophet, a great tool of God, and somebody that just did what God asked him to do. But what I want to focus on this morning is when he goes to call Elisha, and I know the names are very similar, but Elijah was the older prophet, and so he's asking, and God's saying, listen, I'm going to put somebody else in your place. I want you to go anoint a new king over here. I want you to go anoint a new king over here. And then I want you to anoint a prophet that's going to take your spot. But I want you to notice how this happens. how Elisha is called. Verse 19 of 1 Kings 19. So 1 Kings 19:19 says this. So he, being Elijah, departed from there and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen in front of him, and he was with the 12th. Now, I'm going to stop for a moment and just say, I'm not about to give you a history lesson, but when you have 12 yoke of oxen, it's a decent amount of yoke of oxen. It's a decent living. There's probably a family business here. There's an inheritance here. There's a protection. There's a safety net. There's a clear plan, a path of life, right? There's 12 yoke of oxen. He's out here plowing the field. He's with the 12. He knows what he's doing. Very clear, laid out, comfortable, probably. Yes, not saying it's not hard working, not saying that it's not hard effort. I mean, I'm definitely not telling all my farmers out here that this is easy. Like, there's probably hard work, but it's laid out. It's ready. It's good to go. His plan is there. And it says, so he was with the 12th. Elijah passed by him and cast his cloak upon him. So he's walking by him, sees him working, and says, here's my coat. And he left the oxen. He, being Elisha now, left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, hey, let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow you. And he said to him, Elijah turns around and goes, go back again. For what have I done to you? Like, Elijah's playing like this. What do you mean? I don't know what you're saying. All I was doing was giving you my cloak. Elisha realized very quickly, and Elijah knew what he was doing too, but Elisha realized very quickly that he was being told, you are going to pick up my mantle and follow after me. This is the will. This is what you're supposed to do. Now think about this. Elisha has a job. He has a career. He's got an inheritance. It's probably a family business. He's got everything going. He's already planned out. It's already laid out. And it's a fairly lucrative one that we can look at. And Elijah passes him, gives him the cloak. That's all he does, and say, in essence, saying, hey, I want you to pick up my mantle. And Elisha, without hesitation, runs and says, hey, just let me go tell my mom and dad bye. Let me give them a kiss, and I'm going to follow you. I'm not going back to say, I'm questioning. I'm not, this isn't the New Testament one. Well, let me go tell my family goodbye first, and maybe I'll think about. No, this was, I will do this. I'm going to follow you. Let me go and tell them bye, so they just don't think I'm gone. They don't just think I'm just ran away or something happened. Let me go tell them bye. And here's what you can see. You can see the concreteness of Elisha's answer to him, the call, the response to this. So, verse 21. And he returned from following him, and took the yoke of oxen and sacrificed them, boiled their flesh with the yokes of the oxen, and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he arose and went after Elijah and assisted him. Now, see what's happening here. Elisha, in a very comfortable, planned out life, which is what every American wants, right? Doesn't matter if it's hard work, and we're okay with hard work, but we want a plan, and we want security. We want that nice 401k. We want that nice hedge fund. We want that nice, stock portfolio. We want a plan. It's okay if we have to work hard. It's okay if we have to work until we're 60, 65, 70, whatever, as long as there's a plan laid out that, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is my fallback. This is my thing, right? This is what I've got. And God tells Elisha, he says, listen, I want you to go follow Elijah, and I want you to become my next prophet. And Elisha says, yes, it's fine. I'll do what you tell me to do. Now, this doesn't come from a person who doesn't already know who God is. He's not serving God, and who's not already loving God. And you can go back and you see in chapter 19 that he's saying, hey, listen, I've already prepared Elisha. I've already set him up, and you're going to anoint him because these people are worshiping me. They're serving me. They're loving me. Elisha was so focused on doing what God wanted him to do, but he knew he had a job, right? So he had a task, and he was doing it. He wasn't just sitting around waiting. He was just doing what he was supposed to do at that moment. And God said, hey, I've got a new plan for you. I need you to leave everything you have. I need you to sell everything. I need you to give it all away. I need you to get rid of it. Go follow Elijah and be my prophet. And Elisha said, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever you want, God. I mean, the dedication, the willingness to say, yeah, it's whatever. I'll go. I'm gonna go. Let me go sacrifice these oxen. I'll boil the flesh. I'm gonna give it to the people. I'm gonna have a party. Like, hey, I'm out. Like, this is it. This is all I got. I'm gonna give it to you. This is my inheritance. So see, this is mine. Like, he's not taking anything from his family. His family's retired. His family's got everything. That's kind of how we see this playing out. If Elisha's already in charge, that means his parents are already taken care of. Everything's there. He's not hurting his parents. He's not hurting anybody. He's only taking what was given to him, his inheritance. So prodigal son, think prodigal son. He's taken his half, but from what we know, I mean, maybe he had a brother, maybe he didn't, but he's taking what was his, what was given to him as an inheritance, what was given to him as a job, and saying, hey, I'm getting rid of it because I'm gonna go do this other thing that God's telling me to do. And I just want to, I sat there this morning and I was just like, man, could I? I don't know. Like, that would be hard. And I mean, ask yourself seriously that question. Could you? If God came up to you right now, like, hey, I know you got a nice 401k. I know you got a nice hedge. I know you got a nice, salary thing going on. I know you got these plans. I know you got this condo down in Florida. I know you got this thing over here. I know you've got this idea of sitting on the beach and relaxing. And man, I know you've worked hard. I know you're starting. And maybe it's not just those. Maybe it's the beginning. Hey, I know you've got, like, you went to school and you've got a degree in this. And I know that you've got an idea and a plan. And I know you were following me. I know you were doing what I asked you to do. I'm going to change that up. Like, I know you thought you were going to be an engineer. I know you thought you were going to be a mechanic. I know you thought you were going to be this, but that's not what I need you to do. I need you to do something different. Would we be willing? But God, all I know is farming. Like, that's what I am. I'm a farmer. I'm running the ox, right? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing here, and I don't know anything about that. You don't see Elisha questioning it all. Like, I see Moses, right? Like, hey, you're a farmer, I get it, but I need you to go back. And he's like, no, I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to do anything. Elisha's like, yeah, sure, whatever, God, I trust you. And I'm just like, I was blown away. Like, really? Like, could I do that? I mean, God just impresses on me right now, like, hey, listen, I know, like, you're in the city and you've got your families, both sides of your families, and your kids are growing up with their cousins, everything else. And again, I'm not, like, this is not me saying that God's telling me to do something. I think I really am where God wants me to be right now. But if God changed up, like if God was like, but what I need you to do, I need you to sell everything and I need you to get ready, and I need to send you somewhere else. Would I be willing to do that? Again, I don't think that he's telling me that. I don't know that he's telling any of you that, but would we be willing? Would we be willing to say, hey, you can't go on that vacation this year because I need you to take care of this thing over here for this family. Hey, I know you were really going to get another car, but and I know you've got issues with yours, and I understand that, but I need you to do this over here. Or I know you've really had this desire to be a veterinarian, and I get that. But I need you to do this thing over here. I know you thought that you retired and you were just going to be easy, but I need you to go volunteer over here now. Your bills are paid, your things are done. I need you to go take care of this stuff over here so we don't have to spend money doing it. Like, I don't know what it all is, and I think God asks different people to do all kinds of different things. I think he's asking young adults to change their majors. I think he's telling some kids not to go to college. I think he's telling some kids, like, get in the mission field. I think he's telling some parents, like, hey, move your family away from that area, that suburb area. Get your kids involved in a city, a community, showing them how to live with Christ, not just living by yourself out in luxury. I think that he's telling some people, you need to move out of this comfortable spot you're in and go over here and do something different. You need to stop just sitting at home and go and do something. God tells us to do all kinds of things. And so I can't sit here and tell you, especially online like this, I can't tell everybody that's watching or listening, what God is telling you to do. But I can challenge you that what we see here in 1 Kings 19 is that we should have the attitude of, yes, God, I'll do that. But what if it hurts? Yes, God, I'll do that. What if it's going to cost me a lot of money? All right, God, I'll do it. What if it takes my health? Yes, God, I'll do it. Doesn't matter. What if it inconveniences me? All right, God, I'll still do it. What if I feel like it's taking away my freedoms? Yes, God, I'll do it. Doesn't matter. God's saying, hey, I need you to follow me no matter what. And I need you to have that mentality. There are some people, God's not calling everybody to be a missionary. He's not calling everybody to go out into the inner city. He's not calling everybody to go out to the suburbs. He's not calling everybody to do anything. Not everybody has the same calling. We would be a really weird body if we all had the same function. But I think God is calling people that are in, He's calling arms to be armed when they're trying to be feet. And He's calling feet to be feet when they're trying to be arms, or noses when they're trying to be eyes. And He's trying to get people in the right spot, and people aren't listening. And if I'm a nose and I'm supposed to be a nose, and my job is to be a nose, and I'll do what I'm supposed to do, I also don't need to worry about the ear if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I got to worry about my job and make sure I'm doing them, being the nose. And so I just want to challenge you this morning. I was challenged. I want to challenge you. 1 Kings 19. We need to be Elishas. Willing to cast off everything that we have. Security, comfort, peace, a plan. And just say, hey, God, whatever you need, I will follow you. So hopefully that was encouraging you. I know it will be challenging you. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some, I'm going to spoil it. God takes care of Elisha big time. God takes care of Elisha like Elisha is fantastic and does exactly what God wants him to do, and God takes care of him. God does that for His people. Does that mean Elisha doesn't struggle, doesn't go through things? No, it doesn't. He does. But God takes care of him through all of those things. And we can see that time and time and time again. I know I say I like to give you an encouragement with a challenge. And so the challenge is that we need to be Elishas. My encouragement is that every time you see in Scripture that God tells somebody to do something, whether it's, literally all the way back, you can see that God takes care of people that do what He says. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Elijah, Elisha, David, Solomon, and anybody that He tells to do something, Peter, James, Paul, it doesn't matter. He takes care of them. He's there for them. And He does it every time. There's not one person that you will find, period, that God did not take care of. Might have been moments where it felt like He wasn't, but there's not one that He didn't. And so His track record is there. He will take care of you if you do what He is asking you to do. And so that's my encouragement and my challenge today. Let me pull these comments back up just to see what we had. I didn't have them up while I was talking. I love you guys. All right, so we have a few other people that are saying hi, and I just want to make sure we say that. Martha Stratton, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today. And then Candy, I am so glad that you were also able to join us this morning, saying hi to everybody. Listen, I love you guys. We do this for us, right? For the community that we have and the people that we have on here, telling each other hi and praying for one another and those types of things. So we love you. I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Bye, guys.